This podcast is brought to you by People's Food Co-op, a community-owned grocery store in downtown La Crosse, Wisconsin and Rochester, Minnesota, that promotes local farmers and producers through an emphasis on fresh, healthy, sustainable food. Anyone can shop. Everyone is welcome. For more information, visit them online at pfc.coop. This podcast is also brought to you by Trempealeau County Tourism. Whether your idea of fun is bicycling, hiking, or canoeing, afterwards head into the heart of one of their welcoming communities to experience historic architecture, independent shops, and locally owned dining establishments. Visit Trempealeau County Tourism online. Artspire is back with a full weekend of art at the Pump House Regional Art Center. Enjoy live music from Cloud Cult, Bill Miller, and B2 Winds, plus a fine art fair, interactive art projects, and visual and performing arts. June 10th through 11th. Learn more at artspire.thepumphouse.org. On this episode, we talked about food with Abram Dyke of Abe's Raves. We chat about his food reviews and writings, touch on his tour of the Quick Trip campus, and get into his involvement with the limited series cooking show, Cooking with Bo. Season 2 is airing Thursdays now through August 4th. You can find more conversations, food reviews, live music, and events on our website, lacrosselocal.com. I'm Amy.
And I'm Brent.
And this is La Crosse Local.
My name is Abram, and I was born in La Crosse here, been a townie my whole life. I've loved La Crosse a lot. What led to my interest in food was I loved food since the beginning. I mean, who doesn't? It's always a cool way to learn other people's cultures, but also just like learn something that you've never thought of before. I got a fire under my butt about food when COVID was happening because I felt like everything was so politicized and left or right or black and white or whatever else. And I felt that food was like the great uniter of any political party, anybody's opinion. Like, nobody's going to murder somebody over ketchup on a steak. Yes, it's sacrilege, but it's like a totally different investment. Like, this isn't my only belief. And if you go against it, like, I don't feel like food is a shunning thing. So I also knew that during COVID, restaurants were struggling a lot, especially at the height where you could only do takeout. So I wanted to do some takeout and write reviews to, I don't know, get more people into businesses and ordering whatever way is comfortable to them, just helping the community that way.
I found out about you from mutual acquaintance. Dylan Overhouse turned us on to you doing these articles on Abe's Raves, but you also just doing it on your personal account. Yeah. And you do it in a funny ass way. It's humorous, made us laugh instantly. That's just the way you talk, or why did you go down that path?
I would like to thank my English teacher when I was in school. Her name's Lisa. She's awesome. But she encouraged me to embrace how I do talk. Yes, that is, I try to be funny. I try to make things light. And I feel like if people typically write about food, there's like this weird structure to it where it all reads the same. It's like everyone's recipe blogs are like, here's my entire day before I did this. And there's nothing interesting in it. So it's just like, how do I spice this up to make it like something I would want to read? Like sometimes you think of one-liners and you're like, I got to use that someday. And this is a perfect example of when you can do that.
Kind of taking those articles, we post a number of them on La Crosse Local, and people really got a kick out of them. Everything from visiting La Crosse Distilling Company to trying the local donuts to even the jerky place, the salami place up in Viroqua.
Yeah.
Was there anything that came out of that was interesting that you maybe learned about the business that you didn't know before, kind of really digging into it like that?
With Driftless Provisions, there's so much things about like meat processing that is still like a different language to me. And I don't fully understand it, but they were patient enough with me to kind of explain, like, they lose 2/3 to 1/3 of the size of the meat while it's drying. And it's safe if handled correctly in the right temperature. You can just leave meat out. It's the weirdest thing. Like, we're taught that from a very early age. Don't leave meat out. And this is like on purpose. That was pretty cool to learn. Also, going to Driftless Cafe, Luke Zom is just like an index of all sorts of great sources of food in our local area. He almost has like like a preachy vibe about it to where it like is infectious. Like he's very excited and he's like, this is Car Valley cheese and it's won this and this award. And it's seriously just 2 miles, like just very impassioned. And then it also like, it infects you. When people are really excited about something, it can be boring, but like to me, it like it invigorates me. So I really enjoyed his entire spiel. Like he brought out a butter board and I didn't even know what that was. I like the alliteration. There was a butter that tasted like blue cheese. So there's a blue cheese on a butter board, which is fun. Like that's just weird. But here's like the celebration of what Wisconsin can do in terms of butter. Celebrating the small, I feel, is a really cool way that like food exists.
One thing which I was kind of jealous of, is that about 4 years ago, I got to tour Quick Trip, which is just like an Oompa Loompa of
oh my god,
tubes
Wonka
and
factory.
Wonka factory of things going around. And it's it seems like it's well organized, which I assume it is.
Oh yeah.
You also got to go there and check it out. What was that like?
You're right. It was very Wonka-esque. Like I really like Quick Trip. And everyone has this energy again, but towards Quick Trip, people that work for Quick Trip, people that know about Quick Trip, it has like this huge following. And once you eat there or actually like go to the bathroom there, you're kind of a convert. Like if you've been through Illinois and through like some crazy other gas stations, that Quick Trip has like consistency with like not only their bathrooms, but also like their food. And it's like the thing that I find most fascinating about Quick Trip is they're wired completely different than other corporations that I've been exposed to, where instead of outsourcing everything, they start to insource. So like they find that DiGiorno pizzas are one of their top sellers. And then they're like, well, how can we wield that to be, the pothole pizza where we can hit along the same price point, but we source it ourselves? That to me is fascinating. And you can see their product lines like growing, which has been really cool. I don't feel like other companies embrace that very much. It was Wonka-esque. The machines were millions of dollars a piece, stainless steel, like museum of cleanliness. It was really surreal. And I got to talk to food scientists. I'm just like a dude that has never gone to school about food. You can be passionate about something, you can read, you can do what you like. And being able to talk with those people and Kevin, who was given the tour, was super rewarding and like eye-opening. It was really cool. I really appreciated what they did for us. That was neat.
This podcast, Lacrosse Local, kind of was built out of COVID. We did one podcast the week before COVID started, and the rest have been all by Zoom. 300 some are out there. One thing that I noticed relating that to COVID is that there was a lot of people that either by necessity or because they always wanted to and had time on their hands, they started doing like everything from home baked cupcakes to granola to cookies, to various other things that you got to kind of participate. And I just found that so cool that people were being resourceful and also just starting businesses, like that business they wanted to start because the end of the world is happening now. Let's just do it.
Yeah, just embrace it. I fully agree that COVID, like kind of seclusion, built a fire in a lot of people's hearts to like pursue their dreams or like just learn how to get interests. We were so focused on work hard and advance via work that like we didn't see all these opportunities until, work's kind of shut down for a while. What do you want to do? And you're like, holy crap, like I like rocks. Like I want to learn about rocks or whatever else. But yeah, people picking up like baking, like Sugar Mama and Cupcake Artistry. There's a few others, Hona Goods. They have had like lots of success. And I was like super happy to try and write about all of those things. Those cupcakes are ridiculous. And it's also awesome to see them like reinvest in the community. Sabodash just did a giveaway on a bus. And I think Jessica is her name, Cupcake Artistry. Is it Jessica?
I believe so.
She just said, oh, here's a $100 gift certificate to Cupcake Artistry. Like just pitched it in there. It's just like, oh, this is fun to kind of have the community. Am I wrong? Is it Tina?
It's Tiffany.
Tiffany. Shoot. Gosh darn it. Sorry.
Sorry, Tiffany.
Tiffany. My bad. Super nice. Not Jessica. But no, it was really cool to kind of see during like that community gathering. It's like, oh yeah, here's $100. She's also like done stuff for veterans. She's like, if anybody wants to buy a dozen for veterans, go for it. I thought that was neat. Yeah, people are pursuing their dreams and they're getting success, which is always a good feel. But then also them taking that success and like using it for good is just like a double whammy of makes me want them to be more successful.
Another thing that came out of COVID was Cooking with Bo.
Yeah.
A limited series cooking show that was on, Lacrosse Locals Facebook page, YouTube, trying to help out the Hmong farmers that were affected by COVID. So what was that process like? You were in season 1, soon to be released season 2. What did you learn from that process?
I learned that there's a lot of work to it. There's like a lot of infrastructure that I don't know. When you see something, you kind of make these assumptions, but when you actually live it and you're a participant of it, you can see all these intricate pieces coming together. Having you guys like do promotion and kind of getting logistics and sponsors. And then you got the 2 like super talented camera guys that have a setup that like is a legit setup. Like I guess I was used to like, high school. You have a dude with a camera that's just, pointing, and this was not that. There's multiple cameras, multiple angles, like lights. It made it feel like very real, but also like you have to focus on what the subject matter is. I feel like farmers markets like super struggled initially. Like it was shut down. There was no way that they could make any money. And I had known Bo through actually the English teacher I mentioned earlier. She's done like amazing stuff. She's a writer. She's like done film stuff, which is crazy to me. Like she just like follows her ambitions and it's really cool and like also infectious. And it made me want to help in any way that I could. Obviously, I don't have much like food background, but I can talk a lot and I can joke around. It's good to have a co-host to have that for balance. It's been super rewarding. We met our goal last year. I'm hoping we do again this year. And I would love to do more things like it. If we're doing good for the community, yeah, heck yeah, I'm there.
One thing I found out from that relationship with Bo and, the farmers market was the realization that people are taking the availability of fresh produce at a reasonable rate for granted. They don't realize that in a matter of, I think Bo said 5 to 10 years, I think is the long end, that we're not going to have Hmong farmers down there anymore. Those days of, $1 giant asparagus or something like that,
yeah,
going to be long gone. I think that kind of brought it up to me where the reality of, which is understandable. Some people maybe didn't want to go into that life or go into farming. It's tough work. There's still people down in the market that think that they're having that food shipped in, which is this asinine. I think it's really just going to kick people in the butt once they realize that this is going to be gone, because we have it at every market. We have great vegetables that's available. And it just kind of pisses me off.
Yeah. It's so like ignorantly forward to just assume is magically get here. I feel like a lot of people don't really analyze supply chains, and that's probably very normal. But as far as produce or cooking in general, like the sooner you get from the ground to your table, like the more fresh, the more amazing, the more vibrant, the more healthy it is, and like this is the fastest alley to get to that it's, this was pulled from the ground a few hours ago. This is the best asparagus you can get. I know that there's like cultural differences in generations, and I can understand why it would wane away, but I really don't want it to. I really appreciate that aspect to the farmers market.
It's definitely going to be missed. So Cooking with Bo, kicking off season 2 this summer. You got some special guests, kind of mixed it up a little bit. What can people expect?
So you can expect some really good dishes. Our hosts are top notch. I'm really excited for people to see what we are cooking up this year. I ate a lot of it. There was so many dishes, but there was lots of cleaning, lots of eating, and like it's been a great experience.
So also, we got Mayor of Lacrosse, Mitch Reynolds is going to be there. Josh Dumali, I hope I'm saying that right. If Dirty Dozen Donuts is coming back again.
Yeah.
You're going to be there in multiple different shows. Yep. And then also Luke Zom. So basically all those different people, including yourself, you brought your own recipes to it too this time, right? It wasn't just Bo showing you what to do.
Right. And which I really enjoyed that aspect to it as well. And each of us like kind of took it in a different interpretation. I brought something from, my heritage, and some people went the other route and went for more Hmong, which is great because that's going to be a sweet episode, by the way. And then we had gnocchi, which was amazing as well. I don't know if I should be telling exactly what the dishes are, but each one was its own thing of beauty and tasted amazing, and all very, very different.
What's next for you? What are you excited for? Is there anything come down the line that you're pumped about, food or otherwise?
I think I'm just excited to be able to get outside. And I feel like with COVID numbers waning a bit, it's going to be a little bit more vibrant downtown. I'm really hoping that City of La Crosse kind of figures out the whole permits per parking spot for restaurants. Because I feel like that was really cool to embrace that. Losing a couple parking spots was totally worth having outdoor seating. Also excited to see how Riverside develops with that whole new levee, big touristy situation that's going to happen there. Oh, Beer by Bike is back for the first time in a couple of years, and that has been a super huge source of happiness to me. It's obviously a nice little cash injection to lots of different businesses, but it's also just the community getting together and doing fun things. I think it's going to be cool to see how many people show up.
So people can head over to lacrosselocal.com to find out all the information on Cooking with Bo. I believe we're going to have recipes up there so people can actually go shopping, pick it up, and actually watch the show and participate with it.
Yeah.
For you, for people following along with your writing or whatever you're doing, what's the best avenue for them to go to?
Oh, sure. You can follow me on Facebook, Abe's Raves, or you can keep looking at La Crosse Local. I'm sure I'll be writing some more stuff here eventually.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you'd like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Local. Find out more about us at lacrosselocal.com, and you can subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We appreciate it.